Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back for another premium Bandai Master Grade Zaku 2 version 2.0 Ace Pilot Log Zaku variation. We've taken a look at Uma Lightning's custom and Gabby Hazard's custom. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Robert Gilliam's custom, and this one is just, again, basically just another color swap, but really like the colors on this one in that kind of cream and light kind of bluish. It's not like a teal kind of color. Anyway, really nice, cool looking color scheme for this one. And of course, it's got its own custom markings and everything as well, as we've seen with the other variants. But if you're a big fan of Zaku's, as I know you all are, really looking forward to checking this one out. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, checking out the box art here before we get into the contents and the kit. Once again, like we saw with the Gabby Hazard's version, we have some really cool box art here on the front. It's monotone blue this time, but we've got a really nice image there of the Zaku, basically doing almost exactly the same pose as what we saw on the Gabby Hazard box art as well. But once again, it's just a painted sample build there with some really cool artwork. And you can see no mobile suits in the background here on this one, but just like an explosion up there. And then down here for the release year, this one came out in 2016, and all around the sides of the box is kind of going to be all the same stuff there. You can see there's a cropped image of the box art here on the short ends of the box. And otherwise, this release is going to be pretty much exactly the same as the Gabby Hazard version, just in different colors. So that's pretty much what we should expect to see in terms of the contents of this one. But right off the bat, here is that waterslide decal sheet, mostly in white. You have some bits in yellow, some bits in red, some more yellow down here, but it's predominantly white here for the decals. That cool gray one up there as well, but the decals on this one look really nice. Some really cool custom markings for this. And then it looks like, once again, for the instruction manual, we've got the instruction manual for Johnny Ridden's high mobility type Zaku 2 here, which we took a look at in the review for the Gabby Hazard's version, custom Zaku 2. But anyway, it's just the kind of standard Johnny Ridden's Zaku 2 high mobility type. And then we have this extra sheet here, which is empty on the inside. On the front has the parts list amendment for this version, where we have multiple of some of these runners, and you have to use like some parts from one and some parts from the other. So again, make sure you pay attention to this. The colors of the parts is specific, and so you'll have a lot of leftover parts there. As you can see around here on the back side is just pointing that out, where some of these stickers are different and things like that in the manual. But then we've got our decal guide here, showing you some nice big sample photos of the built and painted and decaled kit, where all those decals are going to be placed around on the color scheme. And the painting guide is right there. Really love the color scheme for this one, with that blue and that kind of cream color with the dark gray. Really nice color scheme. But in here, once again, we do also have some foil stickers, a couple of them just for the mono eye and then one for the backpack there. And our two springs for inside the leg cables. And then getting into the runners, PC 200 is here in gray, including the polycaps over here for in the high mobility type legs. Then the A runner is going to be our first example of where you have to pay attention to which color parts you need, because this A runner is all in gray. This A runner, which has some different parts on it there, is in blue, and then our clear parts are up there at the top. So you have a couple of different colors going on there that you need to pay attention to. Runner B, however, we only have the one of. It's going to be in our main blue color. And I just want to say I really like the blue color here for this one. It's somewhat of like a slightly greenish color blue, and I hope it's coming through on the camera. Okay, I'll try to have this, corrected so that hopefully you guys are seeing the true color of it. But it's a really interesting, cool blue color. Runner C, we have two of. One is in blue, and the other one is in our other really interesting color for this kit. It's going to be in a really nice cream color, and the combination of the two I think looks really quite interesting. Runner D, some more parts in that cream color there for the legs. Runner E, we have two of, and again, it's going to be a case where some parts are doubled, other parts we just have on one runner and not on the other. On the first E runner, we have some parts in this really dark gray and then cream. On the second E runner, we have all of these parts here in blue. And then runners F, G, and H are going to be all of our inner frame runners here in gray ABS plastic. Runners F, G, and H there. All that really nice detail there on the inner frame looks great. Runner I is a little bit different for this version. Instead of being in black, it is here in gunmetal, which is nice. We've got two of those. Runner J is going to be our standard Zaku weapons here, the Zaku machine gun, bazooka, and heat hawk there in gray. Runner K for our pre-molded parts for the piping on the head and to the backpack. The inside part is gray, the outside part is in that blue color for a really nice look on that. And then for some more parts for the high mobility type specifically, Runner L is here in blue, and the same thing for runner N for those parts for the legs. Runner M in dark gray is some of the inner frame parts for the legs and the backpack there with all that fantastic detail on there. And then lastly, once again, here in gray, runner O is going to be parts for the large bazooka, which is a really nice added accessory for this version of the high mobility type. That's it for the runners. Let's go ahead and check out the kit. All right, so here is the kit all built up, and once again with this one, I mean, it's just the standard high mobility type Zaku here with the added equipment there on the legs as well, but just gotta love the color scheme on this one, which is gonna be, once again, kind of the main reason for getting one of these Ace Pilot Log Zaku kits. Now, there are a couple that do come with kind of more specific parts. This one, though, just gonna be exactly the same as the Gabby Hazard version, which we took a look at in a previous review, just in terms of what we actually get here included with the model kit. Just gonna be in this really cool new color scheme there with that kind of teal blue and the cream color look really, really nice together. And other than that, we just kind of got our standard loadout of weapons here. So let's go ahead and take a look at our included accessories. And so to start off, we've got here our 1/100 scale standing Zeon pilot figure right there, and our action base connector that will attach up underneath the hip section. And then going from smallest to largest with the weaponry, we've got the Heat Hawk here. Once again, it's just a single piece with this connection piece that can be connected into the side skirt there for storage when not in use, but this is just going to be held in the hand using that little tab in the handle there, which it has on either side. That will connect it firmly into the hand there. With this being all in one color, definitely would benefit from a little bit of painting on there, at least to bring out maybe some of the details on there. But of course, the mold itself, the design of this one does look really, really nice. And then we've got our standard Zaku machine gun here. The camera does move up and down, round to the sides. The secondary handle does also move side to side. There is a clear lens part that you do have for in the camera if you want to pop that into there. And otherwise, it's just going to be all molded here in this medium gray color. You have some mold lines on here, but no seam lines to worry about. So that's nice. Just a little bit of sanding and you'll be good to go on that. The ammo drum here on the top is removable, but you don't have a spare or anything for that. Again, it's something that I think would have been really nice to be included with this kit would be to have a spare ammo drum that could be connected here onto the back skirt right there. But anyway, then we also have the Zaku bazooka here. Once again, the handle on the front will move side to side for doing a two-handed grip on that. The camera will also move as needed. This is meant to be able to be stored up on this part here at the top of the back skirt, but because of the larger backpack on the high mobility type, it can't really fit up underneath there for storage when not in use in the hand. The camera cover can be opened up, and once again with this one, we do have a clear lens part that you can use in there for the camera lens of this. But otherwise, I like to just kind of keep that closed up like that. And then like with the machine gun, you have some mold lines that could definitely use some sanding on here, but no seam lines to worry about. Very nice. And then we do also have the giant bazooka included with this one. So this part here at the front will move, this secondary handle, just like with the Zaku bazooka. This one will move here. The camera will move up and down. And again, like with the regular Zaku bazooka, that camera lens cover can open up, and you do have a clear part for that lens in there if you want to use that. I didn't mention this about the regular Zaku bazooka, but the handle itself doesn't move forward and back. But over here on this side, you've got two separate tabs for plugging into the hand. So if you wanted to have this up over the shoulder, you just plug the hand into the lower tab there, so it's holding it at an angle, and then it can hold it up over the shoulder much more easily. And then the same thing goes for the giant bazooka. It has the same system here where there's 2 points to tab the hand into the handle here, because unfortunately just this handle doesn't move back and forth. Something that would definitely be another improvement that I would like to see made to this kit. But as it is, the giant bazooka is certainly giant, but it doesn't necessarily weigh a whole lot. It doesn't give you any weight issues when holding it with the kit. The kit doesn't have any trouble holding it up or anything like that. It's pretty hollow, even though it is quite large there. And like I said, with the options for plugging this into the hand, you can get it up over the shoulder. You can also hold it underneath the arm, something like that if you want. We'll take a look at a couple of poses here in just a moment. But as for the main kit itself, once again, with this one, you do have a sticker for the mono-eye right there, but it is a clear part. So you have this clear visor part and then a clear part for the actual mono-eye lens. When you turn the head side to side, the mono-eye is on a gear that will turn along with the head. So that's really nice for when you have it turned to the side. It actually looks like the mono eye is looking off to the side there. It's a really cool feature of this kit. And then on the back side, you have another sticker for right there, that little red accent on the backpack. But you have these nice off-white, kind of the same cream color you have for accents here on the backpack there as well. These little like fins here on the backpack can also be adjusted. The thruster bells themselves can be adjusted slightly, although you don't really have much movement there with those. One thing that I realized I forgot entirely to point out about the past couple of MG Zaku 2s that we took a look at is that the cockpit is also able to be opened just by flipping up that part right inside there, and it's the type of cockpit that there's a switch that door is not wanting to stay open. But on the back side of the Zaku, underneath the backpack, there's a switch that you can move side to side that actually moves the cockpit either to the left or the right side, and the doors here on the chest open up on both sides, but you're just gonna put the cockpit, you have to choose like kind of which side you have the cockpit on. And again, in terms of like in canon, in lore, I'm not sure if there's any significance to whether the cockpit would be on one side or the other, but our seated pilot figure is seated in the cockpit there in the one side. So you do of course have that kind of staple gimmick of any good master grade that you're able to actually open up the cockpit in there. And then once again, some nice articulation with this one. You're a little bit limited here in the knee just because of the large equipment on the back side of the leg. The knee bend is limited to like not even 90 degrees there. But otherwise, that's honestly kind of like the biggest limitation when it comes to posing this kit. The other one just might be the fact that you don't really have much side to side movement here just because of the design of the skirt armor and these piping bits here. You're a bit limited in being able to rotate the kit from side to side there, kind of without stuff starting to kind of pop apart a little bit there. You can actually move the side skirt like out a little bit, but you're still going to be a little bit limited there in terms of side-to-side rotation there in the torso. But nice double joint there in the elbow, and then with the hands, those are on a ball joint, but then you do also have a wrist joint that will allow you to move the hand back and forth there at the wrist. And then the thumb is a single piece on a ball joint, and each finger is on a ball joint, but the second, third, and fourth fingers are connected. Those can be cut apart for individual articulation if you want, and then each finger does have a bend, a point of articulation kind of halfway through the finger there. And then here on the inside of the hand, you can see there's that tab which will plug into your weaponry for getting a nice firm grip on that. And I will say it's not the firmest of grips. Someone pointed out in a comment on a previous review that the hand doesn't actually work that well. I find that it works perfectly well. It's not like the best hand tab into weapon system that I've seen. There's other master grades that do it better, but I certainly prefer this style where it's not a little fold out piece that can be easily lost or broken. I like this style where it's actually just molded into the hand, but it could be a little slightly longer, and that would give you a little bit better grip onto the weapons, but I find it typically works perfectly fine. And so that's pretty much it for this one. Just taking a look at a few different poses here with this one. I think the kit looks fantastic. I really love the color scheme for this one. And again, that's pretty much what you're paying for by getting this particular release. I mean, you're pretty much just paying for getting this high mobility type Zaku 2 Master Grade 2.0 kit in this very cool and unique color scheme. And you're also paying for the water slide decals there as well. But if you could get your hands on just the regular Johnny Ridden's high mobility type Zaku 2 kit, you could obviously just repaint it into this color scheme, and you could get some like aftermarket decals to be able to make this version on your own. But as I said before, as a big fan of this kit in general, I really like having these different variations. And I just really love the unique color scheme for this one, where it's not exactly just white and blue. The white is this really cool cream white color, and then the blue is this really nice kind of like warm teal kind of colored blue. It just looks really cool on here. And then you have those, a couple of just kind of medium gray accents thrown in there as well, which honestly I would be perfectly happy if those gray accents were just also blue. I think it would also look pretty nice, but having that third color in there does still look cool as well. But what do you guys think about the color scheme for this one? Is this one of your favorites, one of your least favorites? Do you have a particular favorite in terms of the color schemes of the many different color schemes that the Zaku 2 comes in terms of like the official different like Ace Pilot suits like this? This one I gotta say, definitely one of my favorites. I like this one a lot, but the Gabby Hazard black and brown color scheme was just super cool as well. So I mean, there's definitely some good options out there. But if you guys are in the market for some more Gunpla, you can check out the link in the video description down below to USA Gundam Store. If you don't have P-Bandai kits like this, but lots of other great Gunpla there on the website for you guys to check out. So definitely check out that link. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, make sure that you're subscribed to stay tuned for more. We got one more in this kind of back-to-back series of P-Bandai Ace Pilot Log Zaku 2 reviews that I'm doing. So make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any upcoming reviews. And as always, guys, just thank you all so much for all of your support. Till next time, I hope y'all are having a great day, and see you guys later. Bye-bye.